Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Joe True and Love, here with your AEW Dynamite review for June. We're now in June, the month of June, almost halfway, or you could say the halfway point, whichever you want to say, through 2022. But alas, we are here in June for AEW. Off the heels of a very good AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view on Sunday night. Solid show, very long, but here for the fall of for Dynamite of Double or Nothing was very good, very good. You know, fall shows of a pay-per-view kind of feel like, or kind of usually feel like transition phases for wrestling. But considering Forbidden Door is less than a month away, less than 4 weeks away, I'd say that this fall show really was great, considering gearing towards Forbidden Door, which is less than a month, on the 26th. But a lot I talked about today on the podcast. MJF cut out of the blue, out of the box. Really, he cut his own Pipebomb promo tonight, or last night rather, on AEW, and Tony Khan and the fans. I mean, just wow. We saw the return of Miro against Johnny Elite. Great to have Miro back. It's been a long, I would say, almost 7 months since Full Gear when he faced Bryan Danielson. That was his last match. Sorry, my jeans are hooked on something. So what's that? Ah, jeez. Okay, now I'm unhooked. Okay, better. But yeah, return of Miro after nearly 7 months out of the gate. We know he's been filming a pilot. We know he's been nursing some injuries. So good for Miro to be back. Hiroshi Tanahashi, the ace, kicking down the Forbidden Door, gearing for June 26th, basically calling out CM Punk on the show. So bunch of good stuff there. Much more. We had a very good main event as well between John Moxley and Daniel Garcia, and much more. But thank you all for joining me. If you're new to the podcast and you want to see more, click that subscription in the corner. Only take a couple seconds. You know, get on the homepage, find the rest of the videos. Of course, I uploaded my Double or Nothing review on Monday, so you can find that out. A good hour and 17 minutes of just going over Double or Nothing, thoughts on the MJF situation, over the weekend, in which he did not attend FanFest and almost literally flew out or walked out on AEW. But yeah, you can find that in the description. So thank you, and let's get started. Let's get into it. Show started off with the new AEW World Champion. Also, they made their debut in Los Angeles. Took them a few years to get in the West Coast, and finally they have made their trip. Saw some stars out in the crowd. Home Alone Kid, Clay Koken, I believe that's the name. I apologize if I butchered it. Vince Vaughn, Freddie Prinze Jr., who's rumored, says he wants to start a pro wrestling company of his own. See about that, but some stars were out in the crowd tonight. I assume a few more. But AEW started with the new AEW World Champion, CM Punk. He was out there with FTR, the current Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. Not sure if they're still the AAA Mega Tag Team Champions. I didn't see that on their graphic, but nonetheless, they were out there for Max Caster and the Gunn Club. Of course, Bowens is still hurt. But what now? This match had quite a bit of botches in this match. I'm not sure if they were intentional or they actually how they appeared, but yeah, there were quite a few. Punk got a hot tag. He looked like he went for a springboard but slipped. Billy Gunn got on the apron and he was so Austin went for a famouser, but Punk had issues trying to lift up Austin. I was supposed to powerbomb him into Billy, but undershot him and still connected. Billy got knocked out. A GTS into a big rig by FTR for the win. I will say I'm getting okay with the Max Caster or the Acclaimed Gun Club dynamic a bit, but nonetheless, we knew how this was gonna go. Not exactly the perfect way to start out your AEW World Title run with this match, but fairly okay. So afterwards, Punk and FTR got the mic. Said that Punk said he's never done drugs, but he imagines this is what it must feel like. So then Dax took, or someone, a section of the crowd booed. And then Dax got the microphone, said that, as a person who has done them, I can tell that's definitely the effect and that he does this for his wife and his daughter. And what's the most important for him, Punk then got the microphone and said they got a pay-per-view to build up for Forbidden Door. So he asked the Forbidden Door, who does he have? Who's he got? Then all of a sudden, we hear the music. Hiroshi Tanahashi, the ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling, made his official AEW Dynamite debut, or AEW debut. I mean, over the summer he had a voice message, I believe Fight for the Fallen or Fighter Fest, but yeah, was officially there. Tanahashi, he didn't say anything. Well, he soaked in. The crowd knew him well. And he gestured that he wanted the AEW World Title. So that's the case. CM Punk versus Hiroshi Tanahashi for the at Forbidden Door. I got no problem with that. No problem. They announced it next week. I might as well get into it now. Also, talking about the Forbidden Door. Hangman Page will make his return next week after losing the AEW World Title versus Punk versus David Finlay, formerly of Finjuice. Now Juice Robinson is once again the IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion. Is a part of Bullet Club, but Hangman will go one-on-one with David Finlay, and we'll see about that. MJF. Now, for those who followed it, obviously I'll go over it again, just in case you've been living under a rock or something. MJF, he no-showed FanFest. He almost walked out and flew out of Las Vegas and out on AEW. At Double or Nothing, he got buried by Wardlow. Literally a short match. Pretty much that. I gave my thoughts on the situation on the Double Nothing review, which you can find on the channel, the homepage. But here, now he got stretchered out of the arena after his burial against Wardlow. You'd think he was going to be out for some time, but that was not the case. He came out and cut this rough shot promo. It's basically his version of the CM Punk Pipebomb from a decade or so ago. And boy, was it something. It was hard to keep track of it all, but it was just great to see. We know MJF's tempering, or not really tempering, but temptation of going to WWE when his contract expires in 2024. But this promo, I mean, it's hard to put in perspective because I watched the Pipebomb and in my head was just, whoa. Although I was only 13, although I didn't have the podcast then, I was like, whoa. Then you hear this and try to go over it as best I can. But it was just wild. MJF cutting down Tony Khan, AEW. Wow. So MJF was in the ring. His music cut off for like half of his entrance. I just read the boos. Now, I'm sure that how much was this? I mean, I'm sure there was a good chunk of it that Tony Khan went over with MJF after what happened over the weekend, I'm sure. But this was just something. So MJF talked about how it'd be a real shame if the network executives, something went wrong. And I mean, all these Hollywood stars that were there, I'm sure they were probably whoa too. So he talked about since he was been here since day one, he hasn't got the respect that he deserves. He talked about how I'm sure they did come to a discussion before, but he talked about how Tony Khan's trying to sit down with them to hash out things. He said too little, too late. He said that every time everything he touches turns to gold. He says that no one can touch his ability, that no one is on my level. Says that on everybody's night, they have to be good. He has to be perfect. And that he's capable of carrying the company on his back as he's been doing so for the last years or so. So he was getting cheers. So then he noticed, well, so he said he noticed that some fans are clapping. So he said, where were you guys when over the weekend you called him a disrespectful, non-professional piece of crap or piece of shit? He says that they don't know shit. And he says that he doesn't have to worry about being one of the best because he is the best. He called the fans marks. He said that he's the second biggest minute-to-minute draw in the company. And he said, that's Tony Khan. That's the big guy about that. So he said that quit trying to pay the guy that's been deserving of day one because trying to fill his pockets because all he's trying to do is pay these ex-WWE guys. AS boss, would you appreciate me better if I was an ex-WWE guy? So he told Tony Khan to fire him. He looked dead straight in the camera. So some guy, I'm not sure who, was probably an agent or something. Some guy said, quit talking. Or so he told him, no, stop talking, you piece of shit. So this was obviously bleeped out. He called Tony Khan a effing mark. Bleeped out and told him to fire him. Mike was cut out. And holy shit. Oh man. This was damn good. Now, MJF, the wrestling world, knows how good he is. Knows his worth to AEW. I mean, he is going to be the AEW World Champion. We knew that going in before this whole controversy stemming over the weekend. But I mean, this was just wow. Wow. Great promo. He said that some guys are chasing star ratings, said he doesn't need to. I mean, so much he said, so much he made worth. I mean, wow. Then the return of one Miro, the Redeemer. So Johnny Elite, aka John Morrison. Last time we saw him on TV was when he faced Samoa Joe in a heck of a Owen Hart Foundation tournament match. He's been on Dark a couple times since, which I mean, you get because he just arrived. I know people, same with Jay Lethal. They were complaining about him being pretty much not really used in anything after being on Dark for quite a few weeks. Same as me, but still now he's being used more and more on TV. Johnny Elite is going through that phase. And good to see him here. But kind of had a strange feeling. Because, I mean, it's been 7 months. So, I mean, Now, Miro, Hello Proman's back, talking about his God, talking about he's tired of going home in the streets of heaven and that he's gonna take his home. So Miro had a great reception in Los Angeles. I mean, in the Forum. Fans definitely miss Miro, and he looks as good as ever. This match wasn't a lot to it. I mean, Miro, you know, you could see show his strength. Elite landed some kicks, some softball kicks, landed setting shooting star for a 1 count. Miro caught Johnny with a big kick, followed with a game over. Johnny tapped out, and Miro wins in his return. Great to see Miro back. You know, he could fit a few places, you know. I know CM Punk is going to face Tanahashi at Forbidden Door, but he's going to need someone to fill the gap afterwards until MJF. And I mean, or the TNT title needs some good stability and recognition. Perhaps Miro can provide that back to the TNT title. We'll see. But good to see Miro back, and Johnny Elite, well, like I said, he's going through the phase. He's getting more adjusted to AEW. After a few weeks more on Dark, he'll be back. And once things open up more, then I'm sure he'll find a better place on AEW television. But I won't say that for a guy like Johnny Elite, the problem remains that they need to expand Rampage. They need, because they only have 3 hours of TV. Again, and it's in a bad spot on TV. So, Rampage, expand that to 2 hours, you can shed more light to more talent than needed on TV. It can just open up more things for Dynamite and so on. Oh man, so the Jericho Appreciation Society, they're out there in the ring. They didn't shut, I guess because their debut in Los Angeles and coming off big victory, they were okay with Judas through their entrance, and then right off the bat, when they were about to sing Decorum, they shut up. So I get it. So they addressed the anarchy in the arena match, the whole chaos of it all. Jericho talked about getting mustard poured on, and Jon Moxley throwing stuff around. Dressed Eddie Kingston, the irony. So, talked about Kingston pouring gas on both him and Bryan Danielson, wanting to light him on fire. And he says, "What kind of a man burns another man?" Hence the fireball he threw in Kingston's face. Because, he's a wizard. So, Bryan Danielson, they address him, how he and Hager choked out Danielson for the win. That's why he's not there tonight. Daniel Garcia was not there, but they said, well, Garcia will do the same to Moxley in their match later in the main event. A. Kingston and William Regal, they tried out to stage. Both were pissed and both were hot. Livid on the stage based on what happened at Anarchy in the Arena. So Kingston said, well, he's ready to fight. He would be glad to fight all you guys at once. But he said, no. So he asked William Regal to announce when and where they want to fight. So it still had the intensity, and it was the first, but I don't think it wasn't as great as War Games, but William Regal said blood and guts. So, kind of knew this was trending down that path, so A. Kingston trolled out to ringside. He wasn't waiting, so Hager, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker, they were sent out to beat down on Kingston. Then out from behind, Ortiz with a loaded sock whacked Jericho in the head. Jericho was down. And Ortiz with some scissors in his hands snipped a bit of Jericho's hair as a souvenir, showed off to the crowd, etc. Hightailed it and said, so Jericho claimed, well, okay, you want blood and guts? You got it. But on one condition. He wants to face Ortiz, hair versus hair, Jericho versus Ortiz. It should be. I already saw the memes online of Jericho. Quite hilarious. I mean, look, the way I see it is pretty simple. Jericho. I just can't see Jericho without his hair. It was the same going into the hair versus hair match between Edge and Angle. That great hair versus hair match. You can't see Edge without his long locks. Now, obviously, he cut his hair now, but yeah, can't see him without his long locks. And being bold. So my guess is, since they won at Anarchy in the Arena, my guess is Jericho will beat Ortiz, get his revenge, and then Ortiz and Blackpool Combat Club and Kingston get their ultimate revenge in blood and guts, and there's that. And should be fun. The original blood and guts between the Elite and the Inner Circle was supposed to take place in New Jersey in front of a crowd. We did get blood and guts last year, but it was not in front of a live crowd. This time, we're going to get blood and guts in front of a live crowd. Should be great. Should be good. We got the Undisputed Elite minus Adam Cole but add Hikuleo. So it was originally scheduled to be a 10-man tag team match between the Hardys, Jurassic Express, and Christian Cage versus the Undisputed Elite. But due to Jeff being banged up, we kinda got a sense of it at Double or Nothing versus the Bucks that Jeff wasn't right. So they took him out of this match and Adam Cole, and then it was put as an 8-man tag, and then they had both Jeff and Adam Cole pick partners, and they picked Jeff was replaced by Darby, and Adam Cole was replaced by Hikuleo. Great, good to see him back on AEW TV as well. This was a fine and dandy, chaotic 10-man tag with an interesting outcome. So, Suicide by Darby, obviously an infamous spot from Double or Nothing, was when Darby caught the rope or slipped and went hard on the outside when he went for a suicide against O'Reilly. This time he connected right. O'Reilly moonsaults by both Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus to the outside. Big tope by Nick Jackson, and they got a good reaction as well in their home state of California. So that was good to see. Luchasaurus got the hot tag, ran roughshod. Jungle Boy hit a nice step up destroyer. Chokeslam by Luchasaurus for a 2. Then Chaos in the middle of the ring. Red Dragon hit the highlight on Luchasaurus. And in the middle of the ring, the Young Bucks kind of figured in Los Angeles. The Bucks hit the Meltzer driver on Jungle Boy 1, 2, 3, and they pin one half of the tag team champions, the Young Bucks. Now, sets up another interesting dynamic because they pinned the tag team champions. I know they lost to Hardys, but could we see just a possibility. Could we see the Bucks win the tag team titles from Jurassic Express and they revisit the Hardys and the Bucks for tag team titles when Jeff is healthier and less banged up? And that's where, either the Bucks get their ultimate revenge or the Hardys complete their assortment of the tag team titles. Certainly thought there with this ending to the match. Because, yes, it was in LA, so of course the Bucks were going to win. But, interesting how it was against Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. So we'll see. Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland were backstage. Swerve had some of his producer hip hop friends backstage with Keith Lee. Swerve talked about some of the great 1-2 punches with LA and the Lakers. Talked about Magic, Wilt Chamberlain, Kobe, and Shaq, etc. And basically describing him and Swerve as a great 1-2 punch singles, forming as a great duo. And Keith Lee said that they'll continue and people will swerve in our glory. Not exactly the best catchphrase, but glad to see. I enjoy the duo of Keith Lee and Swerve, especially in a crowded and loaded roster. They can definitely add together. I'm not sure if I would go as far as Kobe and Shaq, but I see what they mean with this dynamic. So we got Athena on stage with Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone was very busy tonight, especially in the second half of the show. So he welcomed out Athena. And Athena said she's great to finally say she is all elite. And said that she will be the one to end the streak of Jade Cargill. And she was interrupted by Stokely Hathaway. Great to see. Great to hear him. Also, Jade Cargill and the baddies were with Jade. Stokely said she's not going to get a title shot anytime soon. And Kiera Hogan got in Athena's face. Out came Anna Jay and Chris Statlander. The tag team division is getting better by the minute, or the women's division getting better by the minute in AEW. I will say that. I mean, I get it was a great match between Thunder Rosa and Serenity, but I mean, look, Jade was playing a nothing match versus Anna Jay at the pay-per-view. And we can see that, Jade and Britt Baker are the stars of the women's division. And they're getting more spotlight than Thunder Rosa, who's the main champion. And I can see with the storyline, I get it. I'm not sure if it's going the way I expected. Where's Chris Statlander's loyalties lie? Because I know people love her and they want to see her clean me as more. So, I mean, Athena being the one to break Jade Cargill's streak, I don't know. We'll see. Wardlow, his first match officially being all elite. He went one with JD Drake. This was pretty simple. Drake had some chops, but 2 power bombs, simple. And boy, was it great hearing "This is War" again on the stage. A great graphic for Wardlow. 2 power bombs on Drake for the win. So Tony Schiavone was in the ring. He was about to interview Wardlow. And he said that once again, Wardlow is all elite. So right when he's about to say something, Mark Sterling and a bunch of security, they were out there. And Sterling said he's had enough of Wardlow shenanigans. And he says that your consequences will not go unpunished. And that he's filing a lawsuit against Wardlow. And I'll see him in court. A little curious if this was a little shine because of Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing. I'm not just speculating, but nonetheless, simple. Wardlow, he powerbombed one of the security guys, ripped up the documents, and shoved them in his face. Because that Wardlow is a free man, good to see. Man of the Year and Dan Lambert were backstage. They praised Dante Martin's potential. Like I said, he only has a few days. He ain't getting past the only man that deserves to be the face of TNT. And so, of course, Scorpio Sky at the end of her promo, he snaps his fingers and the lights go out. Dante Martin, he stopped Scorpio Sky snapping the fingers. And he said he appreciates the talk about his potential. But he says right now, he knows he can beat Scorpio Sky and he'll prove it on Friday. Nice little match. We got a nice little lineup for Rampage. We got Athena versus Kiera Hogan. We got that match there with Scorpio Sky for Dante Martin. And the Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers. So, good stuff there. I don't believe they faced since their great steel cage match last summer at All Out. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm and Ruby Soho. People who were now this outcome I think turned some heads again considering what happened on Sunday. Britt Baker beat Ruby Soho to become the Owen Hart Foundation's Cup winner for the women. And so Britt Baker, I know this gonna dice up the internet more, but Britt Baker and Adam Cole earlier were out with their Owen Hart championship titles for the tournament, but she was out there, with Hater Rebel, wasn't much here. So, was a DT by Jamie on the outside, followed with a crossbody by Ruby and Sling Blade by Britt. Kind of a sequence of events on the outside. Then back in ring, the finish came. So, Ruby went for no future, but was broken up for near fall. Then Britt was hit with Destination Unknown, which is basically her version of the Blade Runner. For the win, she pinned Britt clean. So, there's that. Afterwards, Jamie took the Owen Hart Championship title, attacked Ruby with it, and Britt and Jamie standing tall at the end of the segment. There's that. Main events. This was a damn good main event, I must say. Daniel Garcia is still really young. The more experience he gets, in a couple years, he's just going to be great for AEW. So, but this was good between Moxley and Garcia. Jericho and Regal were on commentary. So, Moxley was thrown to ring steps, and then he was busted open. I'm not sure how. Maybe it was the ring steps, but something else. He was gashed over the top. So, Garcia, a back suplex off the top rope for near fall. Moxley then hit a butterfly suplex off the middle rope. They were firing back. They traded backdrop drivers. Garcia hit a backdrop, fall with a pile driver. Good pile driver for a near fall. Garcia, they kept countering back and forth. Good wrestling by Garcia. So, Garcia went for a sharpshooter. Moxley countered that into a bulldog choke. Garcia then countered that into a roll-up. Garcia rolled through a few times. So, Jericho went out to ringside, but was stopped by Eddie Kingston. Moxley then hit a paradigm shift, and then a bulldog choke locked him on Garcia. Garcia passed out. Moxley gets a victory and damn good main event over Daniel Garcia. So good stuff there in their debut in Los Angeles on the West Coast. So good stuff there. But nonetheless, that's the episode for you guys, and that's Dynamite. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys on Saturday, I think. Probably not. Yeah, I think with now the NBA Finals being today, Game 1, that maybe Rampage back to regular start time, I think. But if not, it'd still be on Friday, so check the time zone on that. But nonetheless, I will have Rampage review on Friday or Saturday, and then be back next week for your AEW Dynamite review. But thank you all. Be safe. I'm Rachel Twillup. Getting out here. See you Saturday. Peace.